unfortunately I have a sick kid. But I had about a 5-minute lecture that I wanted to do just to reiterate a couple of things from yesterday. So using the experimental data that hopefully you can see very clearly on the screen right now, we had the hand size in centimeters and the chocolates grabbed. And of course, we remember we can calculate correlation by just doing equals correl, sorry, typo. And we highlight the whole thing, comma, highlight the whole thing. And we got that 0.456. This was in period 3. Period 5, you guys were a little bit different, but same idea. What we want to imagine, and the only thing I want to take away is, does correlation change if we change the units? So the most simple one to do, right? Chocolates grabbed, there's no obvious transformation there. But hand size, we measured it in centimeters, but you could have done hand size in inches. So let's do hand size in inches. And for those of you who know it off the top of your head, to go from centimeters to inches, you just divide by 2.54, otherwise known as multiplying by 1 over 2.54. Okay, so all we're going to do is equal. We're going to hit that hand size. We're going to divide by 2.54, hit enter, and we're going to copy and paste that for this whole column. And there you go. So you take a look at all of those. Those all seem to be the right amount of inches relative to the respective centimeter hand sizes. And all I want to have us see is that the correlation, hopefully, stays exactly the same. So we're going to do equals correl, parentheses, we're going to highlight this column E now because we're going to correlate all of those with everything in column B. And you'll notice you get exactly the same correlation. So just to put that in notes, oh boy, I got to make that bigger. There we go. So what you see here is the correlation is unaffected by a change in unit. Now, we could consider some kind of change in unit where it's not a linear transformation, and I guess that would mess with it. But if you're converting units, centimeters to inches, pounds to kilograms, seconds to minutes, minutes to hours, whatever, anything like that, any of the normal conversions that you would actually make in real life, correlation is unaffected. So as long as it's a linear transformation, which just means multiplying by constants or adding or subtracting constants. All right, so if you do any of that, correlation is unaffected. You can, come up with another example if you wanted to. If we decided, all right, fine, I'm gonna decide to double the number of chocolates, so I'm just gonna do chocolates times 2. For some reason, I don't know why we would do this, but still equals, so we're gonna take that 35, we're gonna double it, and we're gonna copy and paste this whole thing, which you can do just by grabbing that corner. You get all those, check that they are double their respective rows in this one, and we're gonna do correlation between now E and H, columns E and H. So we'll do column E, comma, column H. And I hope this makes sense, right? We get the exact same correlation because it's the strength of the linear relationship. It's like, how are these two things related? Doesn't matter what the slope is. It matters how much the dots in the scatter plot are in a line. And that's not going to change if you change the unit. Luckily you guys are all seniors. I think that's probably pretty intuitive if you take a step back and think about it. Awesome. Couple of other things I wanted to make sure we touch on. The next one is if I take an example in Desmos, and what I've done here is just create some fake data, and if you look at it for 2 seconds, you can probably see the relationship between x and y. Y is just x squared, so x is all of these things, y is the square of them. And of course, if I do correlation on here, first of all, it's completely inappropriate, so if the relationship does not seem linear, correlation doesn't really tell us anything useful, but we can still plug it in and see what happens. X1 comma Y1, and we get a correlation of 0. But it would be, of course, as we said yesterday, false to say that there is not a strong relationship between X and Y. In fact, there's a definitive relationship between X and Y. It's just that correlation, this measure of linear association, is 0. What I want to do is add in one more row to this data. So let's do 4 and 16 because I still want to just square it, and we can click the zoom button and there it is. And let's put a line through this, even though it's completely inappropriate. So we would do y1, you do that tilde, and then we're going to do a plus b x1. There are other ways to do it, but this is the way I'm going to do it. And we look at it, we get this straight line. Clearly that line is inappropriate for this model, but we can, your computer still just follows the instructions and does it. And just to reiterate once again, if we plot the residuals, which are the errors, we get these blue dots. It's really confusing, so let's take away the green dots and let's take away the line, and we just get these residuals. And what we notice is the residuals themselves are in a parabolic form. The residuals themselves have a pattern, and so therefore, you would once again say a linear relationship is not appropriate, or linear regression is not appropriate if your residuals have some kind of pattern. If residuals show a pattern. And the thing is, any kind of regression, linear is the one we're doing right now. Linear regression, just the idea of putting a straight line to your data to have it model your data as best as possible. Any kind of regression, we will have others in the last week of class, but linear is by far the most common. Sorry for getting an email. Last thing, or maybe you didn't hear that. I don't know. I imagine the speaker picked it up. So last thing, really simple, not a stats question at all. I am going to ask you to do some problems. And what you'll see is on the odd problems, if you click on them, right, you might look at this and I'm asking you these questions. You might not know what it's asking in something like 8.3. Literally click on the number 8.3 and it takes you to the solutions. Hopefully you guys have figured that out already, but if you haven't, this is me telling you that works. So you have 8.3, 8.5, and then you think, oh no, I have to scroll all the way back to the actual problem. That's super annoying. Nope, just click on the 8.3 and it takes you right back. That's literally the last piece that I wanted to tell you. As I said before, I cannot implore you enough to actually use the 45 minutes you have in class effectively to work on both the warm-up problem, which is the inference stuff that was on that test too, that I think everyone needs to work on, and do these textbook problems as well. I know it looks like a lot, but they're all pretty short, right? Something like this. A, you would just say strong relationship, not linear. B, strong relationship and linear. C, weak if any relationship. Maybe linear, I don't know. It's weak. It's hard to say. Okay, go from there. Sorry to be out. I will see you guys all on Wednesday because I know I just have this sense that maybe Friday we won't have class. I don't know why. Monday we don't have class. Tuesday we also don't have class. So I will see you guys Wednesday. Thank you all very much. Good luck.